That will be my first toilet seat I've ever sold on eBay. Well, the typewriter lady, the typewriter lady,
And then they send you the
photos and your heart just sinks. It's like, oh no, I really tried and I failed. Hi guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Happy holidays. Christmas is getting close. Have you guys finished your shopping? I've got most of my done. I know you saw from the last video, I got a lot of gifts for my family. I'm still in the process of getting them. I've got to, get some through eBay and Amazon, and then I'll probably go to the store as well. And it's fun. I love it. I could see that my toilet seat's in the back. We got this toilet seat at that Goodwill bins, and it doesn't fit our toilet. So I thought I'd sell it on eBay. That will be my first toilet seat I've ever sold on eBay. Have you guys ever sold one? I mean, you can sell almost everything on eBay. That's the fun of it. I mean, you just type in something and boom, it pops up. I mean, unless it's obviously an illegal thing or banned on eBay, but almost everything can be sold or bought on eBay, which is awesome. All right, today I want to talk about breakables. I've had 3 returns lately, and they were unbreakable items. And I really thought I packed them well. I really did. And one was a box, and I packed it up, but I didn't put it. It was a watch box that I sold, and I didn't put it in a box. I should have put the watch box in a box, but I did pack it up with bubble wrap and packing paper and put it in a bubble envelope, but it still arrived damaged to the customer. A little piece of the box broke off, so they returned that. Then I really packed this mug well, and it still broke. The handle broke off, and I swear, I bubble wrapped it, I did packing paper, and then I put it in cardboard, and then I put it in a box, and it still broke. And then there was another thing too that, oh my gosh, that was a hard one. It was a typewriter. That was like an $80 sale, went down the tubes. What I should have done was double boxed it, and I didn't because it was such a big item. I didn't really want to do a big box into a bigger box, but I should have. I really regret it now. I mean, I really packed it well with bubble wrap and packing paper, but it jostled around and it broke. So all 3 of those cases, I asked the person to return the item to me. And then I inspect it when I get it, and then I send the refund. And that really cuts into your bottom line. First of all, it's really frustrating, and it's hard to take when you get that return request. And you feel crappy even though you packed your item well, and the post office, threw it around and broke it. And you think you pack it well enough. I always think I pack it well enough. I don't send it out thinking, oh, whatever, who cares if it gets broken. No, I really think I'm doing a good job, and sometimes it's just not good enough. I'd say 99% of the time it is. I mean, I ship a lot of breakables, a lot of things made of cardboard or sensitive material, and most of the time it gets the customer just fine. But it just kind of snowballed on me. It was 3 things, one after another, within a couple weeks, and it was just like, oh no. The last person was, they were all very nice about it. Fortunately, I didn't have anybody like really angry. Well, the typewriter lady, she was a little angry, and it irritates me because some people that are angry blame it on you. Like I just threw it in a poly mailer and sent it to her. with no thought of packing it well. She goes, oh, here's another package that got to me damaged, because the person didn't pack well or whatever. They know I packed it well. It's just because the post office throws their packages around, that was a result of it. Yes, I could have done better, yes. But I'm a flawed human being, but you don't have to treat me like crap. I mean, don't make me feel worse than I already do that it didn't get to you in the condition that I shipped it to you in. But, some people are just like that. And they're, I get it. They got an item that's broken that they really wanted. I understand that they're upset, but don't take it out on me. Just, I want to be treated like respect. Like I would treat you with respect if I received something from you and it was broken. I know you didn't ship it to me broken. I know it was the post office. So I'm not going to treat you like crap. Now, if you didn't package it well at all, I'm going to be a little more upset and maybe say something kind of firmly, but not being a jerk about it. But anyway, that's just the way some people are. But the other people were very nice. The guy with the mug, he just said, I wanted to let you know. And I said, thank you so much for being so nice. He goes, oh yeah, I always treat. I said, thank you for being kind about it. He said, I always treat people kind. And I thought, oh, God bless you. And then the other one, the guy wasn't bad either with the box. He understood, and as he shipped it back, and he's already got his refund. The mug guy, he's got to ship his back. Now, I will tell you how I handle these returns. If, like with the mug, it's just the handle was broken off. If it's not a destroyed item, well, the typewriter knew she couldn't use it, so I just asked her to ship it back. But with the box and with the mug, I asked, do they want to keep the item and get a partial refund? Both instances, they said no, they want to ship it back for a full refund. I said, great, go ahead and do that. And they both got their refunds. And then I'm still waiting on the mug guy. He's probably going to ship his shortly, and I will refund him back yet. I've been told not to refund the shipping, and I kind of agree with that. I haven't been refunding the original shipping, and I've only had one or two people complain about that over the years, and if they complain, I do refund it. But I know it's controversial. People have different opinions about that, but I don't refund the original shipping. I just don't. I just refund the cost of the item. So it's up to you if you want to refund the whole amount or not. But there are some instances where people want to keep the item and I just give them a partial refund. So I'll ask, what do you think is fair? Well, I'm going to stop doing that because I always think, oh, maybe they'll throw out a number less than what I was thinking. But no, it's usually more than what I was thinking. So I will say, how about half off the cost of the item, not including shipping? That's usually what I do. And I'll refund you that. And I've never had anybody say, no, I don't like that. It's not fair. They're always like, sure, thank you. And they're just so grateful to get somebody to listen to them and give them some of their money back, because if the item is still usable, I mean, it just has a little damage, but they can still use it or enjoy it. Why not just give them partial refund? They can keep the item. You don't have to deal with eBay. You don't have to deal with them sending it back. eBay doesn't know about it, so it doesn't reflect poorly on you or your account, and it's just between you and the buyer. Now, of course, if they go through eBay returns, it's different. You can still send them a message, and you could also still offer a partial return. When you get an eBay return, we get a return that buyers initiated through eBay. You'll get an email from eBay saying, what would you like to do with this return? And they give you options. You can send the buyer a message. You can give them a partial refund. It's up to them if they want to accept it. I have done it. I've offered it and they've declined. They want a full refund when they once I receive the item after they ship it, of course. And but most of the time I just accept it, and then when I get the item back, I send the refund. But the reason why I bring this up is most of my returns are because, well, yeah, most of them, because it's a breakable item. It either broke in shipment or part of it broke off. Even though I pack the heck out of my items, it still doesn't matter sometimes. Like I said, 95 to 99% of the time, people get their packages no problem, breakables or not. But it's just the small, like 1% where I'll get it broke. And it's probably because it got thrown harder or a huge package was stacked upon it and it just couldn't handle it. So I'm always striving to do better with packing better, but I am just tired of dealing with this. If I sold clothes and shoes only, I would hardly get returns at all. Now, I have had people return clothes because it didn't fit, or they didn't like the fit or the style or the color or whatever, but that's not very often. Most of the time it's these breakable items, and I hardly ever get returns on like plush or shoes, that kind of thing, which is surprising. You'd think people want to return shoes more because maybe it didn't fit, but I hardly ever get returns on shoes. And I mean, it makes you want to just say, I'm just going to be a clothing and shoe seller and plush seller, non-breakable seller. And I am leaning towards that. Unless the item is really small, I think I could handle like a really small item. Maybe as big as this or smaller. Look at my worn Starbucks mug. I love this thing. It's so awesome. But yeah, anything larger. And breakable doesn't just mean ceramic or porcelain or resin or something like that. It's, in my mind, when I say breakable, I'm also talking about delicate items, things that will need to be wrapped in bubble wrap and packing paper and maybe double boxed or put cardboard around it and put in a box. The other thing that I was thinking about continuing selling is baseball caps or any kind of hats or caps, because I used to ship those in boxes. Now, if it's like a cowboy hat, I definitely ship that in a box because you don't want that smushed in the mail. Smushed. But baseball caps, I put packing paper in the, the hat part. The part that goes over your head to keep its form, and then I put it in a poly mailer and never had a complaint about that. I used to ship them in boxes because I've received them in boxes, but there's no need. You could just put that in a poly mailer and it's good to go. So that's another item that I will continue to sell, and I've only had maybe 1 or 2 returns on caps. That's rare for me as well. So yeah, I'm thinking about just getting rid of the breakables and just selling non-breakable items. Items that you don't have to put in bubble wrap or packing paper or double box or put cardboard or even put in a box. It's just the non-breakable stuff, because it's very, very frustrating. Like, I would sell something like this. That's fine. I can handle that. That's not going to break. I mean, I'll wrap it so it won't break. It's just like, big item, large item. That box, I learned my lesson. I'm going to ship a box in a box if I have another box. It was a watch box. It was an empty watch box I sold for $15. Tissot was the brand, Tissot, French word. And I should have realized that should have been in a box. That was my bad. But probably won't be shipping many boxes like that. It was like the first time I found a watch box that sold. Now, I have sold other boxes for like smartphones, like an iPhone. Like I bought an iPhone. And so if you guys don't know, iPhone and Android boxes sell. People want those because they want the original box. So I have shipped those. And I think those are sturdier, so it didn't break. This Tissot box, it was actually made of, some of it was plastic, and I think that was the problem. Part of the plastic chipped off. Now, if it's a hard cardboard box, chances are that it's not going to break. You probably could just I would just wrap it up in either bubble wrap or packing paper and put it in a padded envelope. You're good to go. But it's this watch box had, it had some thin plastic on it, and that's what broke off. Just a tiny piece of it chipped off, and he wanted to return it. But that's okay, I get it. So this is what I wrote. I'm done with breakables. What do you guys think? Do you ship breakables? How do you ship it? Do you ever have any problems with it? I mean, it's so frustrating to get that email, and then you get the either angry person or the person explaining the item received either chipped or broken, or part of it broken or broken to pieces, and then they send you the photos and your heart just sinks. It's like, oh no, I really tried and I failed.
And I fail. And I fail and I fail and...
Because of the post office. And that is one thing I'll tell you. I'd say most of the time people send me photos, but if they don't send you photos and they say their item was damaged somehow, ask for photos, because anybody could say something's damaged. And I remember this one guy a couple of years ago, he tried to pass that off. He goes, oh, my item's damaged. I go, send me a photo. He sent me a photo. It was one of these canvas, canvas pictures or wall art. And the very back of it, it was stapled to the wood frame, and just a piece of the canvas was folded over. And I think it came like that. And I'm like, that doesn't look like much to me. Go ahead and send it back and I'll give you a full refund. Never heard from him again. He was just trying to get some money. He was just trying to see what he could get. But most of the time people are legit, and they're upset about their item, which rightly so, they should be. So I'm happy to give them their return when I receive the item. The only time I don't ask for the item back is if it's totally destroyed, if the item was obliterated, and they send me, or most of it is, and it's unusable. It's just trash basically. And they'll send me pictures and it's just destroyed. It's like, oh my gosh, really? I might as well just throw that in a poly mailer. It's going to be the same result. But, like I said, I always do my best to pack and ship well, but oh well, that's the way it goes sometimes. It's very frustrating. I don't want this to happen to the customer. I don't like when it happens, but it does happen. So you just got to make the best of it. You can't let it ruin your day. You just apologize and you be kind to that person no matter how they talk to you. Even if they're angry, you just try and appease them and calm them down. And a lot of times they do calm down. They thank you. And their feedback will reflect that too. Now, one thing I'll say about feedback is sometimes you have a disgruntled eBay buyer and you don't know that something's wrong till you read your feedback. And I've heard of this happening to other people too. They just want to vent. So they'll do it in your feedback. They'll send you a negative or neutral, and then they'll air their complaint in your feedback. And I do read my feedback. You guys should read your feedback. I don't read very often, but I'll go on there and look. And I'll say, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So it's great that eBay lets you reply now. In the early days, I started selling in 2001. eBay let you reply, but they took that feature away because I think people were abusing it. But they recently gave that back to us, that we could reply to buyers. I hated when we couldn't do it because we couldn't explain ourselves. All you could read is what that disgruntled buyer wrote, and you had to come to your own conclusions about what really happened. Now you could reply, and I always say, oh, I'm really sorry that happened. Please feel free to return for a full refund. And, all of the time, I've never had anybody do that. Once I asked them to do that, they just wanted to air their grievance. They didn't want to do anything about it. Oh, my bangs are kind of weird. They didn't want to do anything about it. They just wanted to vent. And that was the end of it. And if you really want to try and get that removed, you can. I tried it once with somebody who was really upset, and they left me horrible feedback. And what happens is I went to eBay and I said, try to remove it. I thought eBay would review the situation and remove it at their own discretion, but no, they ask the buyer to remove it. And I thought, gosh, if I'd known that, I know they're not going to remove it. So no, why would the buyer remove it unless they've calmed down and they're no longer angry? But I thought eBay was going to make the decision whether to remove it, but they said, no, we've sent a message to your buyer. They have 24 hours to remove it if they want or whatever. I'm like, oh, well, okay. Well, of course they didn't remove it. I don't lose a lot of sleep over that, you guys. I've heard people who really try and get negative feedback removed. It's never affected me. Most of my feedback is glowing. It's great. It's positive. It's wonderful. God, it makes you feel good. If you're feeling down, go read your feedback. I mean, hopefully you have good feedback. Mine's excellent. It's like, oh, I love this so much. I'd highly recommend this seller. It makes you feel really, really good. If you want a pat in the back, go read your feedback. Hopefully it's as good as mine is. Most of the time, every once in a while I get the negative or neutrals, but that's not very often at all. I think I have 99% positive feedback, something like that. So, and after a while, the negative feedback, it falls off. So it won't be on your main page anymore. And people probably won't see it unless they click on negative feedback. However, I guess eBay has a new feedback. People have called it feedback. I don't call it that, but eBay has a new feature, I guess, where they're showing relevant feedback to buyers, and some of it is whatever eBay deems relevant, and some of it could be negative, which I don't think is a good feature at all. But the first time I looked at it, there was one negative on mine, but the last time I looked, it was all good feedback. So it doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't want them putting my negative in what they deemed relevant. And I think it's a feature they're just trying out. I don't know if it's permanent, but there is 2 ways you can view your feedback. Like if the buyer wants to not look at the relevant, they could click on recent. I think it's something like recent or current feedback, and that'll show all your current feedback. And I much rather my buyers look at my current feedback, but if my relevant feedback is all good, that's fine with me. I don't mind that. So and we could talk about feedback another time. Maybe I should make a feedback video. They just realized that. But as far as breakables, you guys, you do what you want. I do have a lot of breakables still in my inventory, in my hard goods inventory bins, and I'll probably just sell those out. But when I'm out thrifting, my husband and I are going to go thrifting tomorrow, and I'm just going to be so picky about what I pick up. And I've said this before, no breakables, and then I buy them, or the old stuff has sold, and then it's like, and you know, mugs, I really do like buying mugs, but and most of my mugs get to my buyers, no problems, but it's the handle can be the problem. So I usually try and do extra padding on the handle, but I guess I didn't do that this time. So I'm not going to be looking at mugs anymore. I really enjoy selling them, but they are a slow seller. They're really not a good business model for me. So I'm not going to be looking at the mugs anymore, or picking those up. And I found a new eBay, well, new to me, eBay YouTuber, and eBay suggested to me, and I believe his name is J Ride Flips. And I was looking at a couple of his videos. He's really good. He's really informative. He sells a lot on eBay. And he had a list of the 22 most profitable items to sell. And I wrote them down. A lot of items that I've not wanted to sell before or look at. And one of them was massagers. I thought, I don't even look for those. But he says they're in thrift stores. He gets them really cheap and he sells them for $40 or $50. And then humidifiers, I already knew about those. I've sold those before. Amplifiers, I mean, things that I wanted to stay away from. But so there was a long list, but go check him out if you want. But all right, that's my video for today, you guys. maybe it'll make you think about whether you want to sell breakables or just to pack them. There's no such thing as overpacking, but there's such thing as underpacking. So overpack your breakables. I mean, pack them to the point where you think, oh my gosh, this is overkill. Well, when it comes to the post office, it's not. You just want to pack them like, you know, like if somebody threw them against the wall, it would still be intact. It would not break. All right, guys. Hope you're enjoying your day. Hope you're enjoying the holiday season. Like and subscribe if you want. Share this content. Send me a comment. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya. Bye.